welcome to the King Power Stadium for Leicester City's 7th and final pre-season friendly. The first and only game here before the new Premier League campaign gets going in just over 1 week's time. No disrespect to Scunthorpe, Cheltenham, Cambridge, Rotherham or even Stoke, but Atalanta this evening, a step up in class and a step up in quality. Third in Italy last season, they scored more goals than Napoli and Juventus. A first walk onto the King Power pitch for the best part of 3 months for Leicester City, as they face a side preparing for the Champions League, the perfect test ahead of the 2019-20 season. A walk which will become the norm, and a walk that Jamie Vardy's done so often. There isn't the pressure of a Premier League encounter today, but a very important step ahead of the new campaign, which is now just around the corner. And Jerry Taggart is alongside myself, Chris Parrott, for this one. Let's have a look at the two teams. Well, it was the first team that went to Stoke on Saturday. One change tonight. Jagla Soyuncu replaces Harry Maguire alongside Johnny Evans at the back. The first taste of the King Power in a Leicester shirt for Jose Perez, and the first game here as a full-time Leicester player for Yuri Tielemans. He's one of 5 players in this starting 11 to score in pre-season so far. No one scored more than Kelechi Iheanacho, 3 goals. One of these substitutes this evening, should Brendan Rodgers choose to use his bench and shuffle his pack. Well, this is Atalanta's 3rd and final game of the UK tour. They beat Norwich 4-1 on Tuesday. 7 of this side started at Carrow Road. Ruslan Maliovski is their only summer signing who starts tonight, having arrived from Genk. Josip Ilicic will be chief creator. Duvan Zapata, chief goal scorer. His 23 league goals last season, the major reason that Atalanta finished 3rd in Serie A, only behind Napoli and Juventus. Influential playmaker Papu Gomez is among the subs for Atalanta this evening. The referee is Graham Scott this evening, Premier League official. He needs some practice as well ahead of the new campaign. The sun is out, the pitch looks perfect. Can Leicester City make it an unbeaten pre-season? They've won most of their games. The first 11, if you like, has won all of their games. And Hamza Chowdhury will be given the honour to kick the first ball at the King Power Stadium of the 2019-20 campaign, although it's only a pre-season. Final checks for the referee. And a proper test this for Leicester City. For the first time in 12 weeks, we have football at the King Power Stadium, and an early touch and an early canter forward for Ricardo. Now Duvan Zapata gets involved. I think this week with a huge money move to Inter. He's going to need some watching, and Jerry Taggart, this is going to be a real test, isn't it, for Leicester? Yeah, already you can see there's more feel about it. You know, the atmosphere is a lot bigger, a lot better than it has been over pre-season. So the players will take that on board and use this game, you know, obviously working towards next Sunday. But, and as you say, it's pre-season, but obviously playing a team like Atalanta, a team that, let's be honest, we don't really know that much about. But the fact that they finished 3rd in Italy, qualified for Champions League, means that they will hold this team in high regard. First time they're playing the Champions League or the European Cup, that competition in their 111-year history. Atalanta were the top goal scorers in Serie A last season, more than Napoli, more than Cristiano Ronaldo and Juventus. So a test for Soyuncu. And the first test is to foul Josip Ilicic. Yeah, and what will be interesting tonight is to see how Atalanta's set up. You know, you may see, you know, a team go out and play their style of football,
totally different to what we're used to seeing in this country. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it.
That one won't go through to Zapata. Johnny Evans shovels it back to Kasper Schmeichel. They play on the front foot, Atalanta. They like to attack. Should be an entertaining one to watch as Jamie Vardy and Jose Perez, who have looked good in pre-season together and individually. Another chance to see that burgeoning reputation. Exactly where Perez is going to play for Leicester over the course of the next 9 months is going to be really interesting. Looks like he's on the right side tonight of the three behind Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you listen to Brendan talk, he pays a lot of emphasis to his wide players, and so yes, they're more like wide forwards himself, Jose Perez and Albrighton, and so, but they're going to have to play a crucial part in, you know, trying to get goals on the score and get themselves on the score sheet.
Ricardo, brilliant, and here is Perez. His first attempt, if you like, in a Leicester shirt. Had a great record here in the Newcastle one, and that right-hand side from Leicester looks razor sharp already inside 3 minutes.
Yeah, yet again, Ricardo, great play down the right-hand side, and they're the sort of runs that Jose Perez are going inside the box, not in wide areas, getting himself inside the box to get either a shot or a cross-off.
First corner. James Maddison's going to take it right in front of, I reckon, about 100 Atalanta supporters. Maddison delivers. It's typically dangerous. Zapata did well to head it away. Chowdhury in a battle with Josip Ilicic, the Slovenian playmaker. He's a very good player. In the end, it was James Maddison who doubled up and fouled him. Atalanta a couple of weeks behind Leicester in terms of their preparations. Serie A doesn't begin until much later this month. Ilicic is stopped by Ricardo. Mark Albrighton, who scored that exceptional goal, possibly the goal of pre-season so far at Stoke on Saturday. Ricardo made it. Perez. Tielemans. Cut out by some decent defending by Andrea Masiello. Leicester has settled pretty well 4 minutes in.
Yeah, I think so. You know, we're just starting to see a couple of passing combinations come together, which will settle the players for sure. Yet again, you know, you got Tielemans, Perez, Ricardo, all interlinking with each other, which is really good to see.
Here goes Ricardo again. How long have we played? 4.5 minutes. He's had about 4 or 5 attacking surges down this near side, and Tielemans is bumped into. Malinowski it was. Shoulder barge. It's a really nice evening for football. It's the type of evening that when it's freezing cold in February, we'll forget ever happened. Really good crowd in as well. As soon as the pre-season fixtures were announced, this being the only home game and against top quality opposition, is the one that everyone was looking forward to. Tielemans again. This time it's Mark Albrighton who makes the move. Back to Ricardo. Now Perez. Game being played almost exclusively in the Atalanta half right now. Albrighton. Chance maybe to swing one of those trademark crosses in. Chilwell keeps it in play. Really good pressure this from Leicester. Now Maddison. Maddison delivers towards Jamie Vardy. This time it was Jim Citi who gets it away. Now Atalanta can break forward for the first time. Ilicic. Malinowski comes through to Zapata. Ilicic hands it back to Martin de Roon, who of course played for Middlesbrough. Vastly improved player now. Just the first attack for Atalanta, came out of nothing really.
Yeah, tried to play the quick counter-attack, then they slowed it up. Thankfully, you know, they got the block on the shot from Zapata, But Atalanta just grown into this game themselves.
Nice combination themselves on the right-hand side, and Johnny Evans steps in to head away.
I think that's the problem. When you don't win that first ball, when the ball came out, I think it was Soyuncu went in the challenge and he didn't win that first ball. And that just put Atalanta on the front foot. So it's so important, even though it's early on, you have to win those first contacts.
Telecronaca did just that, and then just effortlessly glides beyond the player. Doesn't come to anything, but it's a joy to watch. But here come Atalanta once more. Gosson's in a good position. Johnny Evans it was who stepped in to win it and now leads the charge. Telecronaca. Madison loses out now. Ilicic thought it was going to be open and attacking, and it certainly is. Zapata, Chowdhury in the nick of time. I think he read that pretty well and wins the ball.
Well, Soyuncu can thank Chowdhury there. Great positioning from Hamza Chowdhury. You know, as that ball's being played through, how often do you see a midfielder, a defensive midfielder, so close to his back four and protecting him? Fantastic defending from young Hamza Chowdhury.
Speaking off air, Wilfred Ndidi is now back at the club after his exploits at the Africa Cup of Nations. Hamza Chowdhury may well have played himself into a starting berth that we won't know until an hour before kick-off against Wolves.
Yeah,
but
you have to say, you know, Hamza's done nothing wrong, and obviously Wilfred's been away. He's not taking part in any of the games, so you know he's got the head start as regards to working with his team and knowing how Brendan wants to play his football. So you can't see any other decision being made than Hamza starting, but obviously I could be totally wrong. But for me, you know, he's done nothing wrong, and yet again proved what a valuable asset he is.
Offside flag just up there. Wilfred Ndidi and Islam Slimani, the two Foxes who were away at that competition, which is now played in the summer. It used to be in the middle of the season, which caused everybody a headache in the Premier League. It's a massive competition, though.
Well, I think all over Europe, wasn't it? Well, all the top players
yep.
obviously played in Europe, and I think it was a massive headache for every club.
And now, I remember when they announced the change, everyone was happy, and then Ndidi arrives back a couple of months later than everybody anyway. But he'll be buoyed by his run to the semi-final. Slimani part of the winning Algeria team. Premier League does start earlier than a lot of the other major European leagues, including Serie A. Expect Atalanta to field 2 11s potentially. Attacking with a tent here, then Chilwell steps in, and here is Ilicic. He does have a very good left foot. Clears the crossbar, but that was a dangerous moment.
Again, good play. It's all quick, one-touch play. You can see that Atalanta, when they get the ball and they're driving forward, it's all done very, very quickly. And again, you know, it's a loose pass this time from Hamza. Sorry. Thankfully, he has to get away with it.
Well, last season, 77 goals in 38 games, and only Duvan Zapata scored plenty. So they are a team who like to have 5 or 6 different players who chip in with 10 or so goals a season.
I think that's the way you see in the modern game going, where they don't want 1, 2 or 3, they want 4, 5, 6 players. Now, obviously, you're talking about defenders from set pieces, but I'm on about an open play. Even full-backs getting up and chipping in with between 3 and 5 goals apiece.
Lovely touch from Albrighton. Is Jamie Vardy onside here? No, he's not. And the King Power Stadium expected there.
Yeah, very, very tight decision that. Probably just delayed it slightly, Mark Albrighton, that pass.
I think Vardy had already made his move, hadn't he? Here is Zapata. It's actually on loan, a 2-year loan from Sampdoria, although there's the option to buy. Sampdoria a bit upset probably that they let him go, given how many goals that he scored last season.
He's a big physical presence, isn't he? So normally when you're not big and strong, that sort of build, you're not expecting him to have a good touch or a good, good finishing prowess, but obviously his stats back all that up.
Luis Muriel, who was signed in the summer as well to aid the attacking position, as crosses fired in towards the far post, and Chilwell does very, very well, and Perez can come away.
Oh, spectacular defending from Ben Chilwell. Don't know who it was who was flying in at the back post, but you have to say, fantastic covering defending from Ben Chilwell, and what a header as well to get it clear from the danger. Not only does he get it clear, that could have quite easily went out for a corner. No, fantastic clearing header from Chilwell.
Here is Maddison. And Tielemans, clever pass to Albrighton, and a very good challenge there by Hans Hateboer. It's a good game this, it's being played at a real pace. We're only 12 minutes in, but it's exactly what Leicester will have wanted in their final pre-season match. Evans. Vardy. Ball lands at the feet of Malinovsky. Atalanta really hitting their straps now. It's a lovely ball out to Gossens. Zapata. Johnny Evans there once more. Perez will look to break forward. Atalanta play it back to Pierluigi Collini. Can't miss him with that kit. Masiello. Evans is sticking with Zapata almost everywhere he goes right now. Now Ricardo. Soyuncu. Well, the goalkeeper's had to make a save yet, but there's been plenty of good attacking moments on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. The build-up play from both teams has been very good. Impressed with Atalanta, the quick style of their play. A lot of one-touch stuff when they're moving the ball forward. And again, Leicester, some nice little interchanges of passing, getting themselves in the good areas of the pitch, good opportunities to put the ball into the box. So this game's shaping up nicely.
Collini fires it out to Gossens. It's all about different tactical tests in pre-season as well. Leicester have dominated the ball in almost all their games. Maybe tonight they might just have to soak up a bit of pressure and play on the counter-attack.
Again, this is what it's all about. It's a learning curve, especially for the younger players, how to deal with teams that come and try and dominate the ball. Obviously Brendan Rodgers is a manager who wants to try and dominate the ball as well, but you can't always do that, as we know.
Yep.
So then it's down to how do you go as a collective and close the opposition down, and in what areas do you do that to give yourself the best chance of winning the ball back quickly. So coming up against a team like Atalanta, great experience.
Ricardo. Perez is the option in the end. Chowdhury. Chilwell, just a slightly heavy touch, and onto it in a second was Castagna. He's been linked with a move to the Premier League. The fact that Atalanta are in the Champions League means that they are in a pretty strong position to turn down any bids for their players.
What I have noticed at the minute, Chris, is that Atalanta are winning all those first contacts at the minute. So every time there's a 50-50 ball there to be challenged for, they're coming off best, and that's something that obviously Brendan will have to look at the longer it goes on.
Zapata gets his pass away. Ricardo's so quick over that first couple of yards, snuffs out the danger. They're a big side, Atalanta, aren't they? And Leicester, if we just go on height anyway, aren't necessarily, well, this 11 isn't necessarily.
No, absolutely, and again, what we're seeing from Atalanta is some no-nonsense defending at the back, where they're willing to clear their lines. if they have to, and then start again, as you say. Physically, a lot bigger than Leicester.
Ricardo, who saw so much of the ball in the attacking third in the opening 5 minutes. Now Perez. Up against 3 on that occasion. He turned around as if to ask where his options were. Soyuncu, clever ball, now Albrighton. Looks for the run of Vardy. Hasn't had too much to feed off yet, Jamie Vardy. Some decisive passing back to Jim City on that occasion. Now Hattabor. Soyuncu. Here's Ricardo. Perez is on the move. The referee lets the game go on. Jose Perez doesn't agree, I think it's fair to say. Quality of Atalanta's passing is spot on. They lost against Swansea. And they beat Norwich, and they've started very well here. Good opportunity, heavy touch, and Johnny Evans steps in. Josip Ilicic, I think, will be disappointed. Tielemans keeps hold of the ball so well. No way out at the moment. And throwing at the end of a very promising move from Atalanta.
Yeah, it was a half a chance, wasn't it, really? I think Big Zapata got in his way here. His first touch is a little heavy. Zapata tries to get out of the way. Maybe could have swung and turned and had a shot himself, but he left it. And in the end, Johnny Evans gets across and clears the danger.
Chowdhury put his head where it hurts, potentially. And Gossens secured their top 4 finish on the final day. So now went right down to the wire. Atalanta and Inter eventually put their places in the Champions League. One of these success stories anywhere in Europe. Led by this man's goals, Zapata. Gossens again. Zapata. Gossens fires wide. Another warning shot though. Atalanta on top.
Yeah, it's good build-up play again. You know, Zapata out here to Gossens, and then he goes for the return pass. But he doesn't stand out. It's a good lesson for any forward-thinking players is don't stand and watch your pass. Go and follow it. See if you can get on the end of it. See if you can get it back, and that's exactly what Gossens does. Gets it back from Zapata. Yet again, gets a shot off, but thankfully goes harmlessly wide.
Scoop forward. Soyuncu lets it bounce. Duvan Zapata was lurking ominously. Here goes Ricardo. Maciello. Very good defending, and then a fantastic pass to Ilicic. He's mostly left-footed. Had that been on his left foot, I think he might have gone for goal. Here's Perez. Atalanta again. Winning the ball, but Perez picks the pocket of Malinovsky. Now Tielemans. Straight into Galini's arms, but better that from Leicester City, at least testing the goalkeeper.
Yeah, initially from Perez, as you said, just stepping in, nicking the ball and setting Tielemans away. Tielemans does really well, and you're expecting Jimmy Vardy to make that near post run across the 6-yard box. As you say, confident goalkeeping. from Galini.
Now Frula. Coming again on that far side, Atalanta. Worked it nicely on their right-hand side on a number of occasions. Good test for Chilwell and Co over there. Lecic feeds it through to Zapata, who shoves Johnny Evans over illegally. Kasper Schmeichel made the save anyway. Referee's whistle stopped Atalanta in their tracks.
It's a lovely pass through, but Johnny Evans, he's in a great position there. You know, reads what's happening, gets himself across in a good position, as you say. Zapata, little hand on the back, thank you very much. But again, a good move from Atalanta. You know, both sides, both the fullbacks getting right up high in support and causing Leicester City a few problems.
Albrighton steps in. Now Suanchuk. If you were watching with us the game at Stoke, Leicester got better and better as the match went on. There's Kasper Schmeichel. The goals came late against Cambridge as well. Premier League opener next weekend. Suanchuk stepped out and got something on the ball. Here comes Malinovsky. Well played by Yuri Tielemans. Does it without fuss, but it's mighty effective. Perez, looked like he got the ball fair and square, but the referee deemed otherwise.
It just seemed a little bit harsh, that, as you say. He's just nicked the ball. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I suppose you could call it a typical reaction from an Italian side. But for me, that's a fair challenge.
He's puffing. It's a warm night. Third game in 6 days as well for Atalanta. Trained at the training ground earlier today. Lecic. It's a good ball, and here is Gossens once again. Kasper Schmeichel beats it away. His first real test of the evening. Passed with flying colours.
That's a good shot from Gossens. He's been flying forward since this game started. And he always seems to be the extra man, Gossens, on this side. It always seems to be he's the man that's got all the space and time. It's a good stop. Just see it here.
Lecic again. He spreads it out.
And they're not afraid of shooting, are they? That's the thing. Decent technique. Just probably gets underneath the ball slightly. His first touch lets him down slightly. But again, warning signs for Leicester. The left-hand side of Atalanta, lots of time and space out here. Again, that's something that Brendan will be, vigorously talking about on the bench.
Lovely touch from Vardy. Perez bursts forward. He might have been fouled, but Jamie Vardy involved there beautifully as Hamza Chowdhury slides in. Typically robust challenge and a very successful one.
Yeah, and they're the challenges I'm on about. You have to win them because of Atalanta get past Hamza Chowdhury. That's a real counter-attack on its way. So fantastic challenge from Hamza.
Here's Albrighton. Jamie Vardy was hanging around and went to throw in successfully on that far side. Heard from Ben Chilwell in the build-up at how much he was looking forward to being back at the King Power. And here he is with a typical run forward. It's a free kick, and if this wasn't a pre-season friendly, it would probably be a yellow card.
Yeah, it's probably the first time we've seen Ben getting forward. He's been too busy at the other end of the pitch defending, and one of his trademark runs thwarted by the Atalanta defender. And as you say, in a league match or a cup game, you're probably looking at a yellow card.
Hatterbohr it was. did the classic defender finger wag as if he didn't do anything wrong. He got the benefit of the replay, and he certainly did. Opportunity here for Leicester, who have had to defend a lot in this opening 27 minutes. Maddison or Chilwell, two terrific options. Everybody back for Atalanta. And get this delivery right. It's Maddison, it's a great ball in, and Galini only as far as Tielemans. Well, Leicester's best moment for a good period, and that was half a chance.
Yeah, if anything, it's too good a ball, because it beats Johnny Evans, the pace and the height of it. Fantastic ball in, but it's probably just too good, and as you say, the keeper gets a good hand to it. But a great delivery from Maddison.
Well played by Tielemans now. Vardy. He'll be looking to turn creator here, Jamie Vardy. As I said that, he skips past the player, threatened to shoot. Very good from Leicester's number 9 corner kick.
Yeah, that's better. You know, just see here, Malinowski dwells on the ball. This time Tielemans wins that first contact, sets Vardy on his way. That's a bit more like it.
Hero's reception for James Maddison as he walked over to take that corner. Another chance for him to whip in one of those trademark crosses as he goes short to get a better angle. Maddison towards Söyüncü. Maybe just too quick for everybody once more, but Leicester having a good spell, and the referee's given a corner hit.
Yeah, again, plenty of pace, great pace on the ball. Before, I haven't seen anything, but the assistant referee on this side obviously thought there was a touch.
Yeah.
I've got to say, good defender from Guzons to get right round in front of Söyüncü there.
Two centre-backs discuss who's going to run where. As James Maddison goes short this time to Mark Albrighton. And Tielemans digs out a ball, and it's a dangerous one. Golini claims comfortably. Given the fact that everyone knows how good James Maddison is at whipping in corners, maybe trying something inventive might not be the worst thing, because you know, if you're playing against a side who doesn't have a great corner taker, break off, because here is Ilicic, and I think he's onside. Assistant was scrambling to keep up with the Slovenian. Atalanta slow it down. Here is Freuler. Now Guzons, who's had a lot of the ball, as we've seen in this opening period. Passing move comes to nothing.
Yeah, just going back to your point, yeah, absolutely. You know, it's always good to try and mix things up. That short free kick just didn't quite come off. Mark Albright was probably looking for a little bit more movement and didn't get it, and had to play that simple pass back to Maddison, and then to Tielemans, who you rightly said had to dig across out. But you know, being inventive is something that Leicester City are very good at, and they have got the players to be creative and inventive from set pieces.
Chilwell under pressure. Wins a throw, and it's a really even game, this. Looked on paper like it was going to be as well. Brendan Rodgers on the edge of his technical area. Just the last 5 minutes, Leicester have really hit their stride. Now Albrighton on this near side. Vardy on the move to the near post. Not quite. Jamie Vardy gives the thumbs up though.
Well, that's better from Vardy. Gets across the front. Great run. Ball from Tielemans to Albrighton. Great run from him. And there you go. That trademark run across the near post from Jamie Vardy. And you have to say again, fantastic defending from Atalanta. I think it was Jim City, was it? Yeah, Jim City with a last gasp header. But that's a lot better from Leicester.
Another corner. Another James Maddison corner. This time he goes into the middle, and Johnny Evans got his head to it. The chances are beginning to come now.
Yeah, it's a half chance. He's under pressure, Johnny. But again, I listen to anybody watching, any youngsters watching, how you put a ball into the box at pace. Don't try and do too much with it. Yes, you want to put it into a good area. You need a little bit of bend on it, but you don't have to, do too much with the ball. It's all about the pace. And James Maddison, at the minute, right on top of his game.
Here's Ilicic. It's a fantastic pass from Slovenia. Now Zapata's on the move in the middle. And you can probably hear from the ironic cheers that Hateboer didn't get his cross right.
Slick move again, though, from Atalanta. Probably looking for the back post ball to Zapata, as you say.
Here's Chilwell. Kasper Schmeichel gave him an angle for a pass. I can't quite pick out Ricardo, but it was good from the Leicester captain.
He's just stepped in. Kasper, fantastic. Keeper stepping into the space and saying, yeah, I'm on.
Here is Ivan Zapata, though. Johnny Evans gets back. He's stuck to Zapata like glue, really, isn't he? I don't know if that was intentional.
Well, there's two ways of playing a big physical presence like that. And initially,
here is Perez. We'll get back to that in a moment because Jamie Vardy's on the move. Well, Brighton now making the run towards the near post. Vardy's going to try and pick out Tielemans, and it comes to nothing.
He's just slowed it down, hasn't he, Jimmy, at the vital moment? He was looking for the ball across to Albrighton. He didn't think it was on, and then he slowed it down, allowed Atalanta to get back onside. And as you've just seen, came to nothing. But let's go back to Johnny Evans. There's two ways of playing against a big physical threat. And the first one is you go and be physical with him and see how that pans out. If that doesn't work, then you have to go to plan B. But at the minute, it seems to be going okay for Johnny in that physical battle with Zapata.
So Imchu, the other centre-back there, in the right place at the right time. Now Atalanta have a set piece. Opening 35 minutes nearly as it's flown by. It's being played at good intensity. Berat Jim City has made his way into the middle. Malinovsky is going to take this set piece. One of Atalanta's summer signings in preparation for the Champions League. Johnny Evans, who else was there to head away? Jose Perez was left up the pitch, and there was a big shout there. Don't know if it came across in the coverage, but Martin de Roon got a huge shout that Perez was sniffing around. Brighton, who's come across to this near side. He and Jose Perez have switched for the last 5-10 minutes. I'm trying to curtail that man's forays forward. Evans once more gets the better of Zapata. Now Perez. That's up well with Chilwell. He sets off one of those marauding runs. Here's Tielemans. Nice move this from Leicester. Perez. Look for Vardy. Good defending by Hateboer. But maybe Leicester's best move of this pre-season friendly so far.
Yeah, lovely interchange there between Jose Perez and Tielemans. That's a lovely little sliding pass into Perez's path there. Again, Jimmy Vardy across the near post. Probably Mark Albrighton's too close. He's right in the middle and probably should have just stayed out of it a little bit. And then maybe Perez could have got his head up and picked the pass to Mark Albrighton. But definitely a really sharp move there from Leicester.
Another chance for Maddison. Swings it in. Headed out as far as Chilwell. As Leicester left two players forward. Atalanta happy to have everybody back, and they'll have everybody back now because it's another set piece in Maddison territory. One of those who had a busy summer away with the England under 21 side. Made his first appearance at Cambridge. A deadly duo once more. Chat about who's going to take it. I think we probably know. That's Chilwell on this occasion. Evans, good chance. And Johnny Evans heads over.
Well, it's a free header for Johnny Evans inside the box. Again, lovely ball in this time from Chilwell. Free header, you're expecting him to do better. And you've seen the reaction of Johnny. But when you're afforded that kind of room inside the box, you are really expect to at least hit the target.
Given away, here's Vardy. Great opportunity for Jamie Vardy. And a brilliant save from Galini, otherwise it was 1-0. Vardy can't believe it.
I actually think the referees whistle had gone here for a foul, but take nothing away from Galini. Top class save. He comes out, narrows the angle down. Jamie Vardy does fantastically well. But watch the way the keeper comes down and shuts down the angle. Bang. Fantastic goalkeeping.
Wait and see what the referee gives here. James Maddison thinks it's a corner. The reason that it looked like it might have been a free kick before is because Perez picked the pocket of Frula and he went down. I think it was a legitimate chance because the corner's been given.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Frula's going to be okay to carry on. And credit to Perez. He's doing that Jamie Vardy role of just getting a toe in and stealing possession high up the pitch. Another corner for Leicester. Another corner for James Maddison. Evans on the move. Again in the middle, Soyuncu is there. And the counter-attack might be on for Atalanta with Zapata. Malinowski. He can pick a pass and he's beautifully found Ilicic. Oh, referee's given a free kick here. I'm not sure Chilwell did that much wrong. Who else? Johnny Evans, who must have sprinted 70 yards to clear that ball. But it will be a set piece in a really good position for Atalanta.
It's just, he knew it was going past him, didn't he, Chilwell? And he thought, well, if the ball's going past me, you're not.
The other end of the pitch. Atalanta won't want to see this. Galini, the goalkeeper. Just checking that his teammate's okay. It's Robin Gossens who... It was when Soyuncu went for the header from the corner and collided with him. And play went on. A couple of walking wounded now as we approach half-time. He too looks like he's going to be okay to carry on.
He's okay.
Now this is a chance. Josip Ilicic on his left foot. Will be very interested. And a pretty even opening half now. Both sides have had spells of being on top. Four to aim for, 5 now. As Masiello tiptoes his way into the penalty area. He's the option at the far post. Ilicic the favourite with his left foot. Malinowski's there for the right-footed option as well. Will be Ilicic. And it's straight at Kasper Schmeichel in the end. He immediately looks to get Jose Perez moving. It's an outrageously good pass. Perez couldn't quite bring it under control. That was magnificent from Kasper Schmeichel.
That was unbelievable pass from Kasper. We've seen him do that time and time again. And how unlucky is Jose Perez? Tried the cheeky little flick inside, almost came off. Fair play to Catania. He just stands his ground, keeps his eye on the ball, and is able to get it away.
At first I wasn't sure whether Perez had just slightly miscontrolled it, but he was trying that flick, wasn't he? To then be in on goal. Here he is again. Maddison sweeps out a pass to Ricardo. Doesn't have too much license to get forward. Now Maddison. Quite open up, Ricardo. Zapata was there ahead of Chowdhury and can bring the ball away for Atalanta. Pretty good centre-forward play. One of the linesmen on this near side's given a foul there.
Yeah, again, pretty harsh decision, you have to say. As soon as they get touched, as soon as he feels a little bit of pressure, Gouchan's going down, and makes it an easy decision for the assistant referee.
If you're a player, do you notice if a referee's giving them though, and then think, well, if I get one, I'll carry on doing that?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's so frustrating, when you think you've made a legitimate challenge, and then the ref or the assistant referee starts waving his flag. It's very, very frustrating.
Brendan Rodgers with a bird's eye view on the Leicester City bench. Here's Kasper Schmeichel. Final pre-season match. Wolverhampton Wanderers fast approaching. They've had a very busy period, by the way, Wolves. Went through in the Europa League, and that means ahead of their trip here they're going to have a mammoth journey to Armenia next Thursday night. Just a few days before they come here in the Premier League. It's why the game's been pushed back to Thursday. Gian-Piero Gasperini can't believe that it's a Leicester throw. Now Tielemans. Here's Perez. James Maddison now takes over on this right-hand side. Might be no bad thing for Wolves from a Leicester point of view if they've had a huge trip and a difficult game in a difficult part of the world. And actually the next team Leicester play, Chelsea, will have been in the Super Cup in Istanbul just a few days before the match at Stamford Bridge.
You think both managers will take the strongest teams out, knowing the starts that they have?
It's a good question. It's Wolves' first foray into Europe since the 80s, isn't it? I think they want to do really well in the Europa League, but we saw with Burnley last season that can affect your league position, and you have to start qualification in late July. Here's Hamza Chowdhury. Opens up here. And Brighton not quite on the same wavelength as a teammate there.
Yeah, it just seemed a little bit forced up from Hamza. Fullback gets himself in a good position to cover that pass.
Last 15 seconds of normal time. A couple of injuries. And Tielemans. And Leicester create one last opportunity before the break. It's a foul on Hamza Chowdhury, and there goes the half-time whistle. Right on cue. A really good workout this, and a very good test. Jamie Vardy brilliantly denied by Pierluigi Gollini for Leicester's best opportunity. It was a very fine save for probably the Foxes' only clear-cut chance. Kasper Schmeichel at the other end of the pitch has been reasonably busy as well. A very good competitive pre-season friendly at the King Power Stadium. Analysis from Dan and Matt Elliott pitchside after the break. But at half-time at the King Power Stadium, it's Leicester City 0, Atalanta 0. Played 6, won 5, drawn 1 before tonight. Goalless at half-time here at the King Power Stadium. You can just see a tiny slither of sunshine right at the top of your screen. It's a gorgeous sunset in Leicester tonight. Still warm, still light at this time of year. and one half of football ahead before the new Premier League season begins. Doesn't look like wholesale changes for Atalanta at the break. There are 7 players out there now, which would suggest that 4 are going to come on, including the captain Andrea Masiello, just going through some final words of encouragement for Timothy Castagna. And here come the Foxes. I don't think there's any changes either for Leicester City. We kind of expected it, that Brendan Rodgers' best 11, maybe starting 11, would get at least an hour, maybe a bit more. So Mark Albrighton and co sprint out of the tunnel for this second period. And Brendan Rodgers' half-time team talk in there is. Jamie Vardy, one really good opportunity, superbly denied by the goalkeeper. 1 goal in pre-season so far. And we'd love to double that tally, maybe even more in this second period. James Maddison and Yuri Tielemans deep in discussion. Those two combined so well, didn't they? Last campaign. Ben Chilwell, of course, at left back. We will confirm the Atalanta changes when we get them. Josip Ilicic is on the pitch. Graham Scott blows his whistle, and the final half of pre-season is underway. Darun with an early touch. And here is one of the new players, centre-back Palomino. Looks to me like Luis Muriel has come on as well for Duvan Zapata up front. Oh, Vardy was fouled there, wasn't he? Referee and assistants have a look and agree. Set piece in a great position inside 30 seconds in the second half, Jerry Taggart.
Yeah, good positive play right at the beginning of the second half, and as you said, in a great position. Further Maddison. To see Jamie's always looking to get in behind. You know, it's just great to have a player in your team that is always willing to make them runs. You don't realise how important that is, and what a great strength it is as a player to have that ability.
Welcome to the King Power, Jose Luis Palomino. 20 seconds. Gives away a free kick. Jamie Vardy fancies this. Ben Chilwell fancies this. Surely it will be Maddison. Leicester looking for the fast start in this second half against Atalanta. Referee making sure the wall is exactly where he wants it. Papu Gomez has come on as well, number 10. Very, very talented player. Trying to defend now. It's not the biggest to be in the wall. James Maddison into that wall and blocked away to Chilwell. It's a lovely trick from Chilwell. He's not going to get another free kick. And instead it's with Gomez. Called Papu. It's first name's Alejandro, but it's a real fan's favourite at Atalanta. And here's Ozzy Perez, who may well be a fan's favourite here soon. James Maddison onto Ricardo. And the header. In the nick of time from Atalanta's point of view, but it's been a really encouraging beginning to this second period for Leicester.
It's almost as if Atalanta have been caught cold here. Leicester straight out of the blocks. We heard Matt talk about it at half-time, have a real go in the second half, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Whipped in dangerously towards Evans. It's Soyuncu. It's another corner.
Again, good quality coming in on that corner. And Atalanta scrambling at the minute. You know, their 6s and 7s again. They've just been caught cold at the beginning of the second half. And Leicester, they're not hanging around, are they?
No, they're not. Must have almost been into double figures for corners in the first period. Leicester City and James Maddison. This is the opening one of the second half. Maddison fires it in dangerously. Headed away as far as Chilwell. Tielemans doesn't take the obvious pass. Vardy flicks it on here. Perez. Half a chance. He might have crossed, he went for goal.
I think the best option, looking at this, good flick on. Look at Soyuncu's position. He just pulls off. And you're never going to score from there. For me, you just knock that back to Soyuncu, let him Miller dink one into the back post or go and have a shot.
Well, they've given away a corner then, I think. Well, the assistant on that far side said it didn't cross the line. We're a long way from the action up here, but it certainly looked like he did.
It was only a foot outside, only a foot over the line. Give him a chance, the assistant.
He wasn't up with play because it was such a strange back pass. The benefit of that went to the defender. It's Gomez sniffing around for anything. It's him just behind Luis Muriel in this second half. And here is Luis Muriel, good opportunity potentially. Leicester have players back. And a combination of Ricardo and Johnny Evans saved the day.
That was a lovely ball into Muriel's path, you have to say, but then it was a bit calamitous, wasn't it, from there on in?
Yeah, it was.
You can see the reaction of Muriel. He's now on the ground and his teammate just thumps him on the ball.
Atalanta a couple of weeks behind Leicester, as I mentioned. Maybe trying to ease their way into this pre-season friendly. And Leicester aren't going to allow them to do that in this second half. Good closing down. Throw in a decent position. Ben Chilwell will take. Now Soyuncu. I'll say, Jerry, the fact that Leicester were able to have 2 games on one day on Saturday meant 90 minutes in a lot of these players' legs, and again tonight potentially.
Yeah,
it's perfect preparation, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the players will want that. They understand the importance of getting up the match fitness. You know, you talk about Wolves, you know, having to go down, but they're already playing competitive football, and so they're up the pace, and that sometimes can be the ultimate difference in a game of football. Where, you know, let's face it, the game against Wolves, you're expected to be a tight game. And so it's vitally important that these players get up the pace ASAP.
Soyuncu's certainly up to pace in the second half. Well, Brighton back to the centre-back. Stroke centre midfielder. Maddison trying to take it down neatly. Now, first chance maybe for Gomez to weave his magic. Key reason why they qualified for the Champions League. 7 goals last season. I had a great interview of him when he said that Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, his quotes, they offered me a boatload of money but turned it down because I wanted to play for Atalanta. There's Ilicic. It's a clever ball again. Leicester being tested at the back. No bad thing given the Premier League is only 8 or 9 days away. Or Brighton. Tielemans back to Ricardo. Atalanta have stopped him going forward, as well as almost anyone that we've seen, frankly, since Ricardo joined the club.
Well, yeah, it's probably something they would have spoke about again at half-time, you know. On the flip side, Atalanta had Guzans and loads of space. I think he's actually gone off Guzans, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he has.
But it's obviously an area of concern. It'll be an area of concern for the majority of the Premier League teams this season is Ricardo Pereira.
Chilwell. It's a terrific header. And a fine, dangerous ball which somehow evaded everything. And Jose Perez picks it up. Here is Ricardo. Perez in support, Ricardo. Well, he's quick, but even he isn't quick enough to get on the end of that. But how about this from Ben Chilwell?
Yeah, well, it's often a joke in the dressing room, as you know, his first touch is that bad that he chases his own flick-ons. But on this occasion, fantastic flick-on from Ben, and he gets on the end of it.
Maybe trying to get the footage of that then. Ilicic, he's playing wider in the second half. Offside. He's very one-footed, but his left foot is the stuff of legend, certainly back in Slovenia. Kasper Schmeichel, who has had absolutely nothing to do for the opening, approaching 10 minutes of the second period. There is now Pasalic, who's on loan from Chelsea. And Luis Muriel opens up, and that one whistled wide. And one of Atalanta's new signings.
Well, Kasper Schmeichel, he doesn't see this. He's flat-footed. As Muriel gets on this ball, as you say, it just whistles wide. But you see Kasper, you know, he can do nothing about that if that's on target. So a real let-off there for Leicester.
13.5 million from Sevilla. To try and ease the burden on Zapata. What a pass that is from Maddison. Vardy. No, he doesn't get outpaced by many, but a very good piece of defending from Palomino. Thought that he was in when that ball left James Maddison's boot.
That's great defending. He's only just come on as well, hasn't he? As you say, it's a lovely little ball from Maddison. Spots Vardy straight away. Doesn't even have to look up. Knows that Vardy's making that run. We've seen that last season, that link-up play. Maddison on the ball to Vardy, making those runs. Good defending.
Ilicic, well played, Chilwell. And Tielemans. Perez. Good piece of defending, and Gomez can pick it up. And weaves his way beyond a couple of Leicester players. And he's an incredibly talented footballer. A really even contest. Has been from pretty much minute one, as Ilicic with another very good pass. That ball went out of play, didn't it? This time the officials agree, and it will be a goal kick.
The official on this side's obviously got his contacts in. His eyesight's working fine.
Timothy Castagna it was with the pass. Play right back or left back. Good ball from Kasper Schmeichel. Good position from Yuri Tielemans. And a fantastic pass to Ayoze Perez. Perez denied. It would have been his first goal at the King Power Stadium in a Leicester shirt. But what a move.
Unbelievably good move from Leicester City. It's a 30-yard pass, splits the Atalanta defence open. Ayoze Perez with a lovely time run. He's onside, but again, you've got to credit the goalkeeper. He comes out, narrows the angle.
Ilicic, that's a neat ball, and that's a good piece of goalkeeping at the other end from Kasper Schmeichel. Two very good saves in the space of 60 seconds.
Yeah, watch this ball from Tielemans. Fantastically weighted pass. But again, the keeper's already in a good position when that ball's played. Spreads himself, makes it difficult for Perez to try and slot it. As you say, Kasper Schmeichel exactly the same, narrowing the angle, making sure that Atalanta don't sneak one in at the other end.
Gomez with this corner. Went through everybody. Tielemans eventually flicked it on. Shoveled back in towards Luis Muriel. Chilwell's up. Can't take your eyes off this game for a moment. Atalanta might have been sleepy for the opening 5 minutes of the second half, but they've woken up. It'll be a goal kick. And their supporters, and just off the right-hand side of your screen, are making a bit of noise themselves now.
It's good to see, as you said, this game really hotting up. Two good teams, and now we're just beginning to see, you know, opportunities at other end.
Maddison back to Chowdhury, and now Johnny Evans. James Maddison once more. Clever pass for Chilwell. Didn't quite reach Vardy, but how about that for a touch from Maddison, who's beginning to come alive in this game. Miscontrolled, and I think Luis Muriel would have been offside anyway. He would have had to be Superman to keep up with that pass. It's being played at a pace and an intensity that could easily be a competitive game. which is exactly what Brendan Rodgers would have hoped for.
Yeah, I think that exactly that's what he wants. Is, you know, certain say they played a competitive match last week against Stoke. Again, they've ramped up the quality. We had Atalanta come to time, but you know, sometimes in a game of football you have to make your own tempo, and that's exactly what Leicester are doing this second half.
Here is Josip Ilicic. Look to get on that left foot if he can. And there's a charge who stepped in, as he does so well. Ilicic again. And Gomez will try and combine. Again, Hamza Chowdhury was in the way. Perez couldn't get there. It's worked out to Castagne. Johnny Evans steps in and takes no gamble whatsoever. It's also, it may well have helped the game that they only made 4 changes at the break, Atalanta, instead of a whole new team. It's a great challenge from Vardy. And a brilliant piece of skill to climb beyond Pasalic and release Ayoze Perez. Fantastic from Vardy. Albrighton's header drifts wide. The chances are coming thick and fast now.
It's a difficult chance. You know, again, great play from Vardy. Dictates the play. Lovely pass into the path of Perez. She's just leaning backwards slightly, isn't he, Albrighton, when that ball comes into the box. Difficult chance to try and guide it. He doesn't have to do too much as regards getting any power in the header. It's all about guiding it on target, and because he's leaning back, it just makes it a little bit more difficult.
It's a shame it wasn't Albrighton who won the ball instead of Vardy, and I mean Vardy in the penalty area, but
yeah, absolutely.
credit to Albrighton, who basically went into the makeshift centre forward position.
Well, he's replacing Jamie Vardy, and again, that's something that Brendan Rodgers will be on for those forward players about.
Here's Perez, picked up a brilliant position. Ayoze Perez! Fantastic! His first goal at the King Power Stadium in a Leicester City shirt, and it's a beauty. Leicester lead on the hour mark.
Well, this is all about composure, right at the there from Ayoze Perez. You're seeing the build-up now, but when the ball comes to him, he does fantastic well to let it run, but watch the composure. He finds that gap and he slots it. That is a touch of class from Perez. You know, you'd be forgiven for, because it's on his probably weaker left foot, he'd just, you know, stick his foot through it and try and go for power, but no. He just uses his defender as a dummy and just rolls it round him into the corner net.
I think he enjoyed that, and who can blame him? Yeah, Luigi Gallini finally beaten after 2 very good saves.
And it was going to take a good goal to beat him, let's face it, because he's had a really good game, the Atalanta keeper, but that was pure class from Ayoze Perez.
On comes Christian Fuchs. Ben Chilwell's pre-season is done. You can sit back, watch on and look forward to Wolves in the Premier League. Ayoze Perez, the difference. Martin de Roon has made way, as Leicester City were celebrating that goal as well. Matteo Pessina on in his place. Just about goes into the penalty area. Kasper Schmeichel gets Christian Fuchs moving. Perez always looking. They've got a great vantage point up here on the gantry. Really youngster looking. Jamie Vardy and Ayoze Perez are constantly on the move, and okay, Chowdhury couldn't quite pick out Vardy then, but it must be terrific for a defender or a midfielder knowing that one of those 2 players is always going to be an option. And here they are closing down space and trying to win the ball high up the pitch, and eventually Ricardo does. Leicester really beginning to get into their groove. Here's Maddison. Quick feet from James Maddison. Well, that would have been special as well. turning into a very good second half.
Yeah, well, they've just taken the lead, and now they've just upped the tempo yet again, Leicester City. And as you said, that was all about the closing down, winning the ball back high up the pitch, and then setting Maddison free to let him do his work. And again, it nearly comes off just about a yard wide that time. But this is impressive stuff.
Lights very much on now. Night falls around the King Power Stadium ahead of the last weekend without football for a good few months. Here's Christian Fuchs. They're playing with real confidence now, Leicester City. Going to be another couple of changes from Atalanta, who are, by the looks of it, going to use all of the players they've bought. Roger Ibanez da Silva is the latest to come on alongside, it's like possibly Musa Barrow. It's the end of Andrea Masiello. Here is Roger Ibanez. Musa Barrow, who was very, very good against Norwich on Tuesday, comes on lightning quick. Maybe another test for the Leicester City defence. Josip Ilicic is the man he's replaced. Not so much craft and guile, but certainly explosive speed for the number 99. Can't have been many of those in your playing days, Jerry Taggart.
I think the less said about that, the better. Don't like to recall those type of situations.
James Maddison failed there. Just got his body in the way superbly, drew the challenge from Mattia Pessina. It's the time of the season when every time someone does go down, you just take a big breath in and hope that they're going to be okay. That one scare with Johnny Evans at Cambridge, didn't we, when he went off and it was only a dead leg?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what you don't want, is one of your main players getting injured in pre-season. I say you can sort of half accept it in the regular season, but in pre-season it's a massive headache for the manager and the coaching staff.
Going to see a Leicester change, maybe a couple of changes in a moment. Atalanta aren't done yet though. Here is Gomez. It's one of those seasons that, had they finished 5th and not qualified for the Champions League, they might have lost a lot of players because they were so impressive, but the fact that they got over the line and finished 3rd, they've stayed and want to enjoy the adventure, as Yuri Tielemans and Hamza Chowdhury found Lewis Murray out. Free kick in a decent position. It's going to be a double Leicester City change now. Already seen Christian Fuchs come on. And this is the end of Mark Albrighton's pre-season and also James Maddison's pre-season. Adrian Silva is the first Leicester man on. Further chance for him to try and play his way into Brendan Rodgers' first team. And Mark Albrighton's going to be replaced by Harvey Barnes, who was excellent at Rotherham on Saturday. And he has 22, 23 minutes now to impress as well. And if the Atalanta defence don't know about Harvey Barnes, they will do pretty soon. Here is Barrow. Soyuncu closed him down well. Hamza Chowdhury. Referee says play on. Johnny Evans doesn't get there. Free kick. Another of those that would definitely be a yellow card if it was a game. Ibanez it was who Johnny Evans fouled.
That's twice we've seen that in 2 games from Johnny. You know, he gave away the penalty last week against Stoke, just diving in, stay on your feet. He hasn't got control of the ball. You don't need to dive in. If he toe pokes it like he did, then there's a chance you can intercept that if you stay on your feet. But he just sells himself and, you know, gives away a free kick in a really good area for Atalanta. And with Gomez on the pitch, then you're going to expect him to try and bend one in the top corner.
And Johnny Evans is not arguing that it was a foul. He's just saying that it was a couple of yards further back from where Atalanta. Graham Scott agrees. Always thinking Johnny Evans. Now, Luis Muriel is there. Papu Gomez is there as well.
The thing is, the further the ball goes back within reason, it favours the team taking the free kick. So I don't know what they're moaning about. Do you want it back that far, really, so you can get the ball up and down?
Yeah. It will be Luis Muriel. You can't, in the new season, have defenders in the wall anymore, or attackers I should say in the wall, but what you can do is position them just in front of the wall. It's one of the new regulations we're going to have to get used to over the coming weeks and months. Luis Muriel certainly looks favourite here. The other option is Matteo Pessina. Dangerous moment. And Luis Muriel fires that 20 rows back. New signing trying to make an impression. The only impression he made was on those sitting behind the goal.
It's a poor effort, isn't it? You know, as I say, probably trying to make a good impression, but obviously, you know, you've got to do better than that.
He might not get the next free kick on the edge of the box.
At least get an ooh from the crowd. Yeah.
Here's Gomez. And Leicester have kept him quiet. And that'll be Leicester City ball, well played by Adrian Silva on that occasion. Tielemans, just the touch. It's too good for Atalanta. Such a classy footballer.
Looks fit as well, doesn't he? He came to Leicester, you know, the last window. There's question marks over his fitness, but definitely this pre-season.
And the fact that Brendan Rodgers has had the whole pre-season, the deal was done pretty early.
Definitely looks fitter than he did when he first came to the club.
Here's Ricardo. Talking about fit players. It's another marauding run. Left-footed effort, which pops up to Bellini. One assist tonight. Here's Barrow. Palomino. Pasalic helps it on. And gets it back. Second year of a 2-year loan from Chelsea. It's one of those that Frank Lampard might have looked at, given that he can't sign any players for Chelsea. Here's Gomez. This spells danger for Leicester City. Back to Barrow. Gomez again, there is a man over there. Beyond Luis Muriel, but he got his header to it. And it's straight at Kasper Schmeichel.
A good cross out in the end, Gomez, but again, no pace on the ball. Muriel, all he can do is jump, stand and jump and head it, and that's why you see no power in that header whatsoever.
Harvey Barnes' first involvement. Christian Fuchs back to Soyuncu. Adrian Silva has taken over that role from Hamza Chowdhury. No Wilfred Ndidi yet, back at the football club. Perez closing down. Just saw the Atalanta coach there look away in frustration. And besides, certainly Leicester's equal in the first period, but second half, Foxes have stepped it up and got the goal eventually. Through this man, Ayoze Perez, who now wins a free kick and takes it quickly, too quickly for the referee's liking. Well, Jamie Vardy won't be happy.
I thought that was a new rule as well, that when the free kick was given, the opposing team could get up and take the free kick quickly without the referee say so.
I think what happened here is that Pessina went over holding his face, and the referee blew up because he thought it might be a head injury. You could say very clever from the Atalanta player, because he's not injured.
Yeah,
I think
he's got straight back up.
Yeah, the referee just pointed there, an explanation to someone from a Leicester player. This place would have been a bit louder towards the referee had that been a Premier League game and he'd made that decision. Fuchs wins the header. 15 minutes remaining. And as things stand, it's going to be win number 6 of pre-season. Here's Vardy. Vardy! Call as you like. Jamie Vardy scores again in pre-season. And Leicester City are winning once more in pre-season.
It's a pretty simple goal by design, isn't it, really? A long throw from Christian Fuchs. You watch Palomino, he just falls asleep, doesn't he? He's just not watching, he's ball watching, he's not watching the run of Jamie Vardy. We talk so much about Jamie Vardy, all he's looking to do is get in behind. What does he do? He runs in behind, Fuchs finds him. Again, it's an easy finish, just slots it in the corner. You've got to say, defender just guilty of ball watching and not watching the actual run of Jamie Vardy, and in the end it looks so easy for him.
And he's found out the hard way about playing against Leicester City's number 9. Great reception for Ayoze Perez. He already feels like a Leicester City fan's favourite. For many here, it's their first watch of him as a Leicester player, and he makes way for Damari Gray. Brendan Rodgers gets his notepad out. He'll be very, very pleased, particularly with this second half display. And actually, from Vardy's point of view, he deserved that one-on-one, given that the referee's whistle stopped him being through on goal a couple of minutes ago. It's a clever ball to Gomez. Now Barrow. Atalanta threatening. Barrow's beyond Fuchs. It's a terrible shot, but it comes back to Gomez. Equally poor effort from him. And Leicester clear.
I don't know what he was trying to do there, Barrow. I have to say he's done brilliantly well to get himself into a position, but then it just loses that composure we talked about with Perez.
He might be in here again, but Christian Fuchs uses his body well. Plays the 1-2 with Kasper Schmeichel and volleys it forward. What about that touch from Tielemans? Showboating going out now, just to...
I was going to say, first from Kasper with a little dink over the Atalanta, after over Barrow's head. That was cheeky from Kasper.
Sort of thing you can do in pre-season.
Well, yeah,
when you're 2 up.
Yeah. But then they say the touch from Tielemans, absolutely sublime. You went from one extreme to the other there, didn't you? Fuchs putting his foot through it, boom, 50 yards up the pitch, and then Tielemans, thank you very much, with a little deft touch.
Here's Gomez. Picked up a nice little pocket of space again. Luis Muriel, good effort. Safe hands from Kasper Schmeichel. Another good save from the Leicester keeper.
He's got himself in a good area to shoot here. Probably could have used Castagno on that left-hand side. But Muriel's gone for the shot, and as you say, Casper just positions himself perfectly in the goal.
They want the clean sheet now. Kasper Schmeichel. The camera phones are out. Not everyone's caught on yet. I think a few more are. Get yours out, Jerry.
Yeah, mine is out. I'm trying to read the team sheet. There we go. It is pitch black up here, and my eyes are sadly fading with age.
Harvey Barnes looks for Vardy, who brings out the trick book himself now. Here's Silva. Brilliant Leicester move again. Ricardo just behind Damari Gray. Ricardo once more. There's Hamza Chowdhury. Leicester fans desperate for him to shoot. Did find the back of the net at Cambridge. It's Damari Gray again. Now Tielemans. Fuchs in a bit of space. Barnes is there once more. Yuri Tielemans again. Ricardo's on the move. Tielemans spotted him. It's a very good piece of defending by Timothy Castagna.
It's a controlled football from Leicester, wasn't it? Picking the passes, not panicking, not rushing it.
As soon as Yuri Tielemans got that ball, he just seemed to know that Ricardo was making the run. The relationships on the pitch that are going to improve as time goes on are already pretty good.
They're the little chats you have in the dressing room, you know, when you talk to your players. The players talk amongst themselves, and Vardy will go, when you get it, don't look up, I'll make the run. Just stick it in there. Same with Ricardo. If you get it on the right hand side, I'll be on my way. And Tielemans, of course, you have to have the ability to realise it, but Tielemans, Madison, they all have that ability. You know, they just sense that it's the right time to play a blind pass.
There's Soyuncu. Mari Gray was on the move. Castagna gets his head to it. Pasalic. Adrian Silva gives it away. And Atalanta are still a threat. Here's Luis Muriel. Another shot. This time it's wide, and Johnny Evans did pretty well. And the new signing. He's had plenty of opportunities since coming on at the break.
Well, he's absolutely desperate, isn't he, to get on the score sheet, Muriel. He's shooting from anywhere and everywhere. Again, Johnny Evans does fantastic well, just basically gives him no chance of hitting the target, but he has the shot anyway, Muriel.
Got a couple against Norwich on Tuesday. It's very rare that Atalanta don't score. Clean sheet tonight. Could be another impressive statistic from a Leicester point of view. Pasalic. Chance now. And Ricardo knew it. Feeds Yuri Tielemans. Look at Damari Gray galloping forwards. Can't pick him out first time. Might have a second chance here, Yuri Tielemans. Or a third. That'll be a free kick. And it's a bit clumsy. A bit impatient from the Atalanta defender, Palomino. He's given away a set piece.
He's just getting a little bit frustrated, wasn't he? Tielemans just holding him off. Good use of his arm, just keeping it at arm's length. Obviously Palomino not happy with that, wanting to get in, try and win that challenge. Tielemans draws a free kick.
Could not have been more under the nose of the assistant on that far side as well. Having won it, Yuri Tielemans is going to take this. James Maddison off the pitch, then Chilwell off the pitch. Chance for Tielemans to stake his claim as a set-piece taker for Leicester City. He's delivered a good one as well towards Soyuncu, Chowdhury, and now Fuchs. Oh, brilliant! And the offside flag is up. And Christian Fuchs is denied what would have been a very, very popular goal.
Well, I'm hoping we're going to see a replay of that. What's a shot from Christian Fuchs. He's got no right whatsoever to pull a strike like that off. But this is quite phenomenal from him. Bang! Quite phenomenal. No back left, nothing in the shot. He just literally total instinctive from him.
Well, that cheer was because once you're watching the replay, Papu Gomez ran the length of the pitch and then blasted it over. I wonder if someone got a touch on that Fuchs shot, or whether the assistant thought that someone was in the goalkeeper's eye line.
I think that's what it was. They were sort of interfering with play, I think. But you've got to say, take nothing away from that strike, you know.
Trendy or not, he'd be very upset that that was disallowed. Samsa Chowdhury again. Herring around the pitch. He's a little further forward now. Adrian Silva sitting in the position where he was playing. A chance for Chowdhury now as well to potentially excel in this position where Maddison was operating, given that Wilfred Ndidi was such a huge player last season. When he comes back, if he then takes over, big if, Chowdhury might be man of the match against Wolves and then keep his spot. But another fabulous ball from Ricardo. Damari Gray is quick. Vardy! Went for the cheeky flick and it didn't quite come off, but Leicester are entertaining at the King Power.
Yeah, again, an electric mover. Again, the weight on that pass, perfect for Damari Gray to open his legs and burn off the full back. And he's unlucky with a cross. Jamie, yet again, across that near post. How many times do we see him make those runs? It's just slightly behind him. He can't get it. He has to try and pull off a cheeky flick. Just can't do it.
Attendance was just read out. 15,900. I'm fairly sure was the figure that the Herds. Terrific night's work for Leicester, watched on by a really healthy crowd with great support in all the away games as well. Here's Gomez. Looks for the run of Barrow. So Inchu's in a battle and he does very well. And Fuchs under pressure calmly plays it to Johnny Evans. That'll be an Atalanta ball. He's certainly not giving up. They're going to make a very late change here. It's going to be the end of Hans Hatterbor's evening. He's played 87 minutes. Arkadiusz Reka is on in his place. Not going to have too much time to make an impression.
I bet he's over the moon. He's on with 3 minutes to go, Reka. He's probably thinking about getting himself in an early shower, an early bath.
I bet he has to do some training on the pitch afterwards as well.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Here's Pasalic. Now Gomez. Quick feet. Too quick for Yuri Tielemans, and you don't say that too often. That's how talented he is, Atalanta's number 10. Barrow with the little back flick. Had the ball in dangerous positions a lot tonight, Atalanta. Here's Harvey Barnes, looking to release Vardy. Barnes has continued his run. And Palomino, he's been guilty of a couple of misjudgments since coming on at the break. Did well there.
He almost gave it back to Vardy, didn't he? But as you said, he intercepted the pass brilliantly.
It's Luis Muriel. Barrow's on the move ahead of him. Barrow, that'll be a penalty, I think. Ricardo clashing with Barrow, and Atalanta have a chance for a late consolation here.
I have no complaints. It's a good run infield from Barrow. And unfortunately for Ricardo Pereira, he just cannot get out of the way. No, it's not intentional, but his momentum running back towards goal just accidentally caught Barrow, and referee, it's an easy decision for him.
Now, poor old Musa Barrow wanted to take this penalty. Luis Muriel said it's mine. Kasper Schmeichel saved one at the weekend against Stoke. He'll have to save one here if he wants a clean sheet. Luis Muriel scores, and Atalanta do get one back. And we might just have a grandstand finish to this pre-season friendly.
That's a good finish, isn't it? Again, composure as he runs up. You think he's going to whack it. Just slips it in the same corner where Kasper saved against Stoke last Saturday. Probably just about what they deserve, you have to say, Atalanta. You know, definitely in the second half, Leicester have been by far the better team, but overall, you've got to say it's been a pretty evenly matched, apart from that spell at the beginning of the second half.
They've made another couple of changes here, Atalanta, after 89.5 minutes. It's a fantastic coach, Juan Piero Gasperini. Don't often see that. Offside flag is up. Now, how many added on minutes will we have?
I think somebody in my ear said 1.
We had 2 seconds in the first period, 1 added on minute. Castagne. Back to one of those who's come on, Caleb Mehmei. Atalanta still believe they can get something from this game. Luis Muriel. Need to hurry up. We've already almost had 30 seconds of it. Here's Gomez. The cute little balls, so Soyuncu and Evans leave it for Kasper Schmeichel, who, friendly or not, dives on it and tells his defenders to get away and get up the pitch.
It's just going to just see timeout now.
Damari Gray's the target. Header is back to the new goalkeeper, who does get a touch to ironic cheers. The perfect end to a pretty flawless pre-season for Leicester City. Jamie Vardy got his goal eventually, having been denied by the goalkeeper on a couple of occasions. Jose Perez it was who opened the scoring, but Brendan Rodgers has a big smile on his face, because Leicester City have won again in what has been an excellent pre-season. Tonight's test was bigger and better in the form of Champions League Atalanta, but it was passed with flying colours. Jerry, man of the match time.
I'm going again. I want to give to Johnny Evans, because I think his first half performance was excellent, but I have to say the finish from Jose Perez was exquisite. And that obviously set Leicester on the way to winning this game of football, and it took a little bit of class right at the death for him just to slot that ball home. So for me, Jose Perez just pinches man of the match tonight.
All smiles to Leicester City. Played 7, won 6, drawn 1. 2019 pre-season's gone pretty well. Full-time score here. There'll be more analysis pitchside with Dan and Matt in a moment. But full-time, Leicester City 2, Atalanta 1.